Hi, welcome back. I have an idea of creating a baseline project that I can use in future applications to use it as a baseline rather than building it from the scratch and start customizing it based on my needs. This project is built on frontend has VueJS and backend Flask. So in the VueJS, I will use Vuex and VueRouter. I will cover those. I will add those features in the front end, and in the back end, I will implement user management. Flask API can authenticate the user and authorize the user. But this is going to be in the basic level. This is the flow diagram for the project. So the user logins, and when the user enters the username and password, the query is been sent to Flask API. Flask API will authenticate through by finding the user info in the table in the database, and once the user is authenticated, then it generates an access token and route the user to the portal. So if the user is authenticated, Vue.js will route the user to the portal. If he is not authenticated, then it throws an error. So once the user is inside the portal, based on the roles the user has, this is scope of the project. And let's see the database how I have set up. So when coming to the database, I have created two tables. These two tables are used for the user management and not for anything else. So these the two tables, one for roles and one for user info. So the user info table has username, email and password and the ID. So whenever the user gets registered, it will be that record is entered in this table, and whenever the user is trying to authenticate, that will also be performed on this table. So the Flask API comes to this table and validates whether the user exists. Either it may be username or email address and the password. When the details are matched, then it authenticates. Based on the user has what kind of role, it provides the access. To check the user roles in the role table, I have built a relationship between these two tables. So whenever you pull the user information using a query, then you will also get the role, what the user consists of. So in the relationship, I have used the ID as my primary key, and the user ID has a foreign key, and role name has a primary key, role ID as well. But you can add as many primary keys you want from a child table, and you can show it on the parent table. If the IDs match, the user IDs match on the role both tables, then whatever the user role the user ID consists of, then this role will be shown on the user info table as a virtual column which does not exist. And so each time you try to get user info, it looks in the role table and also get the what kind of role the user is been assigned. So this is the project scope. So let's go ahead and start coding.